好，大家好，我们现在呢人在 Roswell 哈，其实我原本就是住在这的啊。那我们今天是这个飞行秀或飞行展的第一天哈。那我是把车停在这个法院对面的这个停车场哦，是公共停车场。然后现在我到这个公车站坐接驳车，往这个机场这个方向的秀展前进。现在时间已经快8点了哈。那第一场飞行应该是8点半开始。我看到有一台车在这儿，不知道是不是接驳车。好，我们去看一下。好，我们现在依旧在巴士站等哦。它等的地方呢，其实像我们现在看到有3个人的这个位置，应该是等会车子会停靠跟上车的地方哦。但是呢，目前人潮看起来不是很多哈。我去里面问了一下，他说可能再等个10分钟、15分钟。他说巴士现在就是往回走的路上了哈。所以第一个呢，人潮不是太多，然后他们当然是希望多载一点人能到现场啦。所以说我们就看一下吧，因为我昨天买票的时候，虽然网上宣称卖了6万张票哦，但是我昨天买的时候呢，基本上80%或70%的位置都还是空的，所以今天去现场看一下人到底多不多，然后或许是第一天吧，然后我们再给大家带来一些现场的这个影片跟资料吧。好，等会见。好，我们现在在巴士上面哦，应该快要到机场的方向了哦。来这个趟呢住了10年了，第一次坐本地的巴士啊。好，我们已经下巴士了哈，我们刚才是坐这个巴士进来的。然后我们车上大概也就10个人不到哦，我们可以看到会场已经在这边了啊。那今天呢，有看到很多现场很多这个 school bus 啊，学校的巴士在这边拉了很多这个学生过来哦，是不是要冲一下人数啊？还是现场的活动需要这个就是给当地的小朋友一点福利来看呢？这个我也不知道，反正因为我买票的时候发现位置。就是真的票卖的不是很多，就今天来说的话了，所以说我们先到现场去看一看吧。这个路口的边上呢贴了一个每天的票价哈，好像今天是最便宜的，好像随着这个第2天、第3天陆续好像价钱都往上了哈。可以看得到。大家做参考以后，如果要来的话，当然你也可以上网看一下，会有这个更清楚、更明确的这个价格了。这边呢有一个现场的一个图哈，然后这边也有这个票价在这里哈，看得出来第1天的票价是有改过的，但是我在网上买大概就是这个价钱了。然后这边就是售票亭吧，应该是啊。其实现场也是能买票的啊。好，那我们就准备进场了。好，我们刚才经过了这前面一个小小的这个安检哦，然后也是这个刷了票以后，我们就进来了哈。应该是持续的往前走就是会场了。刚才看到天上有2架飞机在飞哦，但是好像应该是还没开始吧，因为看它的 schedule 上呢，它写第一场是8点半，但是现在其实已经超过8点半了哈，所以不知道是有一个延后的情形还是怎么样，因为其实人现在陆陆续续才到啊，而且其实学校这些学生其实占了很大部分的这个观众啊，都是靠学生来撑场面了啊。感觉今天的民众似乎不是很多的样子，那我们再往前看一下吧。这边有个摊位哦，应该是给小朋友的，里面有一些这个应该是前几年的一些这个推出的小卡，然后还有一些这个学习的一些东西吧。好，那我们再继续往前吧。我也是拿了一些小卡跟他这个一个书啊。到小朋友呢，其实都是排队去刚才这个棚子里面的这些地方哦。然后现场还有一些卖一些吃的跟喝的，还有一 些小摊位哦。那我们的座位区应该就是在这个前面这里，看到它的搭建起来的一个看台在这边，应该是我们的座位区在那里哦。正常来说呢，这些活动应该都会有一个官方的摊位哦，卖一些什么纪念品啊之类的。目前似乎还没有看到哦。那这边呢，就是等一下要坐的这个位置应该是在这里了。然后它应该还有一些区块，例如说是像包厢式的啊，或者是应该还有一种是自由席，自己带椅子来坐的，可能就是它应该也会给一个区块吧。那我们先去看一下吧，看看这边有什么摊位，有什么东西。好，我们看到有个摊位呢，有卖它的一些衣靴啊，你看它的各种款式在这里啊。Oh, thank you.
Everything comes in there too.
How much for the
These, I only brought these, and they're $29.50.
$29.50?
$29.50.
Oh, okay. Price is there. Yeah. Okay.
And then we have, so I only brought, like, oh, here's one.
好，当然那一件呢，差不多也就是29块到30块钱。然后这边有卖一些画哦。好，看看这里还有什么摊位。今天是第一天哦，有一些摊位其实都还没有完全准备好啊。这是应该是卖这个徽章的哦。再看看别的地方。这里就是应该它的自由席的这个区块了哈，大家自己可以带椅子来坐的哈。然后这边有一个有棚子的，可以遮阳的，这应该价钱又是不一样的了哈。我现在看到有一台黄色的飞机正准备要飞了啊。
Austin, he's in his early 20s, I think, by now. I think he had about 2,000 flight hours by the time he was
在试吧。这边又有一家这个卖一点衣服啊、帽子的小东西的摊位，也可以看得到有一些卖吃的摊位在这里，但是感觉不算非常多哦。那我们再看一下吧，这边又有一个摊位。到卖的一些画，然后这里也是卖衣服的摊位哈，但是好像没有看到官方的，应该正常来说官方会有一个纪念品的一个摊位才对哈，就是一个可以赚钱的机会啊，怎么好像没有看到呢？我们刚才看了一下，其实也没什么特别的摊位哦。他在手上盖了一个章以后呢，我就可以进到我的座位区来了。就是你来这边就坐，他是会检查你的这个票的哦。那我的位置是 G 的24和24啊，这边就属于是他的包厢区了啊。然后它这里其实都会有一个 number 在上面，所以我的位置是 G 的2424啊，我们去看一下。然后我们到我们的区块 G 了哈，所以我是24，看一下。好，现在到了我的座位区了啊。我的上面呢就是摄影机的位置，所以这位置应该是算不错的。现在呢，他们都是两台飞机，然后就是做一个这个低空的一个这个滑行而已哦。所以因为第一次来看这种飞行表演，所以不太懂它这个可能算是一种热身之类的吧。就是我想看的是在天上飞的，可能晚一点看看会不会有，现在还早。好像就是有点像，不知道算不算竞速哦，就是低空滑行的过去，然后绕一圈以后呢，再这个再回去哦。 我们可以看到呢，边上也有一些在做后面等待的飞机啊。
Looks like he's going to take this one without too much effort.
Yeah, he's going to be busy. He'll be back. It's the cool thing, as you were explaining to the audience, is there's so much combination into
现场呢，目前看到的这些观众群呢，基本上都是老人居多哈，没什么年轻人啊。
Hands, feet, mind going like crazy.
然后人也不是很多，我刚刚看了从今天一直到最后一天的这些座位的这个卖的情形哦，其实每一天的空位都还是很多，然后票价的话呢，会沿着这个天数往后推迟呢，票价都会往上调一点。它可能每一天的这个表演的内容不一样，我觉得。好，票在飞。
Thank you. You're going to be a busy guy. All right, goodbye, please. Back to the ports now. And with the American flag we had, yes, they were taken off downhill, but they thought the limitation was within their safety guidelines. So instead of doing the scattered pylon, starting from our right to our left, as the Formula Ones did, they took off right on the race course. In that 3 rows of however many competitors they had.
昨天呢 ，iPhone 17已经公布了哈，它的所有3颗后面的镜头17 Pro 哈都是4800万画素的，这非常吸引我，因为我现在是1200万画素的，这是 iPhone XS 啊，所以我其实想买一个这个照相功能好一点的，目前还在考虑啊。
And if you just joined our early birds who were here later on, in order to be streamlining, they put Steve Whitman invented spring steel on the aircraft, cutting down on the weight and also adding to the streamline. Originally, the aircraft had a blister. And up and out. Cooling left. More people to be able to get into the racing late in his life and being a prolific aircraft designer and racer. Give those folks a big wave as they pass in front of you. Let them feel your love and your warmth. He started a class called the Formula V. Kept the cost down of building a racer, and what they used the V stood for, a Volkswagen engine. Was in fact a modified Volkswagen engine to be able to withstand racing and also up the horsepower. And it carried, as you might imagine, a very lightweight but highly controllable.
现在看的好像又回到像一进来的第一轮的这种不知道应该也是个竞赛之类的哦。它有2台飞机，你可以看到停在这个地方，然后等一下他们会启动加速，然后呢有一段这个。 滑行吧，可以看得出来，它现在在加速中，然后会离地面，离地以后呢，它会有一段这个贴地的一个滑行，然后再降落。不知道比的是说它滑行的距离呢，还是说什么？这个我就不是很懂了。然后它会绕一圈以后呢，再做同样一个这个滑行的动作回来啊。 好，他现在刚才到这边之后呢，再折返回来哦，然后一样也是这个。加速，然后贴地滑行。
However, he's a little heavier. He does have smaller wheels and can help him brake. Who gets on the ground first? Oh, it's really close. All right, so Austin. Stoll Dragon pulling ahead of Eddie. Eddie's coming in there. Eddie is the #2 in the world at this sport presently. Getting on those brakes. Now Steve Henry on the inside, the yellow 24 is the best stopper in the business. So Henry
来很
huge
快。
advantage for him because when he gets on the ground, he's able to slow down instantly. Watch how quickly number 44 slows down when he hits the ground. There it is. Looks like Steve had.
When you get inside and start to move in on that pylon, but it didn't happen that time. By flying outside and high, you've got a wider diameter, but it's not over yet. Big challenge going on the far side. And the spectators that were here for our first race, it's like we may get a pass again, clean pass. Got to get way out in front for the okay. Clear to go. You talk about strategy. If you're the high knowledge, you have got the advantage. Then you got to be careful. You got to stay above that barrel. I think the pass got done there, probably with some extra RPM. Clean pass, that's the way they do it. Oh. Well, of course, in the years, if you check our program on the history of the biplane races, you'll see that there were some one-off, very unique designs. No surprise. Don't like to be fast. Someone's got the power of the speed. On the inside, little mast on the outside. There are no cuts, as they say.
What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
现在是算中午。
Let's give another big round of applause to Scott Tripp. Beautiful rendition of them. To welcome the chairman and CEO of the Reno Air Racing Association, Mr. Fred Telling.
Roy, thank you very much. Good morning, Roswell.
Good morning.
Every one of you here today is here at a historic moment. This is the first day of the first year of the relaunch of the National Championship Air Races in what will be our new home for years and years to come. We're standing on a new apron, which, Bobby, correct me if I'm wrong, the FAA saw what we were building. Well, I will, but I'm saying FAA has designated it's going to be a taxiway now, right? So taxiway Charlie, it's going to be a permanent addition to the airport, making movement on the field better, and it's just one of many permanent improvements to making this airport better and better to serve Roswell and southeastern New Mexico. This particular runway, taxiway, was compliments of the work of Secretary Cerna and the Department of Transportation. You know, early on, not tell too many tales out of school, but early on, he basically said, you know, do you need some help with that? And I said, well, we do. It's got to support up to 80,000 pounds for F-18s. He goes, well, son, we build highways. It'll be 100,000 pounds. So we don't need that. He goes, Fred, we build highways. It'll be 100,000 pounds. So we have brand new committed runway taxiway. I keep those formulas. They can take off on this. We thank them for that. But beyond that, I just want to introduce a couple of people quickly. We're fortunate to have the Lieutenant Governor and the Mayor will be speaking. I'll talk to them later. Secretary Bowie, Secretary Lansing, both have played a critical role in doing everything we need to make this event happen, along with Secretary Black, who will be here later. And, I'm forgetting. Oh, God. Anyway, I've screwed that up. On my other side, I have our distinguished board of directors. The reality is, without this team, I wouldn't be able to do the things I do. Tony Lagatetto, our president and COO. Tank, Chris Johnson, a.k.a. Tank, director of operations. Will Geyer, director of safety. Terry Matter, next to Terry, by the way, in the handsome red shirt, Joey Scolari. Both of those gentlemen have been past chairmen. And I'm honored and very fortunate to have their continued advice and support. Sue Gardner, now retired from the FAA, has been lending her help and assistance. And I have to say, Sue, when you talk to her later, Sue's been more involved with getting us through a variety of problems this year that we didn't anticipate and has just been instrumental. Bobby Thompson, your airport director and our board member. Mike Espiritu, director of economic development. The transition I would make is Mike and the mayor are the two people who led Roswell's effort to be the city to be selected. And as I told them early on, it was like the little engine that could, because they were competing against some major competitors and alternatives, but at the end of the day, they fielded a terrific team. They came to all of the events leading up to it. They came to the last final flag event. They came to our final air show event because they wanted to learn and know everything they could before they hosted the event. It is a partnership that has been extraordinary and will last into the future. We had planned this to be with the anthem, but if you look overhead, we're having a flyby with a C-130, so take a moment, see our Air Force in fine fiddle up there. I know. Do we have the time on that? We are probably going to be very fortunate that the B-29 bomber on loan from the commemorative Air Force flying out of Dallas Executive may be also arriving soon for landing, and Sue's checking arrival time right now. And I would gladly, you all would be pleased that I didn't have my talk interrupted, but I'll be gladly interrupted for airplane flyovers. Now with that, I just have to close by saying this partnership's been enormous. Lieutenant Governor Morales was here at the announcement. He's been a key supporter of aviation throughout the state. He's got home in the southeastern portions of the state. He knows how important it is to keep aviation strong in New Mexico, and he's been doing everything to make it possible, and he's been an important partner in all of this. We're honored and pleased to have him. But it's my first honor to turn the microphone over to Mayor Jennings, without whom, and Mike Espiritu, as I said, we wouldn't have the opportunity to be here today. Mr. Mayor, the microphone is yours. Thank you.
Thank you. I think he was 12 when he was a player coach, but he showed up in the Senate, and that's the Honorable Howie Morales. And Howie had the pleasure. That's still a pleasant sound. And we thank God every day for the freedoms we have in this country. And but Howie, poor guy, had to sit next to me. And I'm going to tell you, he's really risen as a 5-star. He's Lieutenant Governor of the state of New Mexico. And he's a fantastic individual. But while you listen to that playing a little bit, I have to say one thing. Didn't Colonel Tripp do a great job with our national anthem? Wow, I went to school at St. Peter's, and none just told me to act like I was singing. He'd get the message. Boy, I could never do that. Thank you, Colonel. It was great.
B-29, as you know, used to be based here. the Enola Gay and Boxcar. Correct me if I'm wrong there, but they were both based here before they then moved up to Wendover for all their final testing and preparation before they left for the Pacific to complete
with the speeches.
正在想说这个怎么没什么开幕仪式呢？原来他是把这个仪式呢放在这个今天的正中午的时间哦。所以呢，刚才就是有一些这个当地一些主办单位啊，一些这个长官们在做一些致辞。然后刚才有一架飞机呢，我们后面飞过来呢，好像是有参与过这个2次大战的飞机哦。现在看到这边，他准备要做这个降落了啊。 看一下它的降落。
We are celebrating 80 years since the end of World War II, and this was the aircraft used in the Pacific after our enemy in Europe had been defeated. Several weeks would go by before our enemy in the Pacific surrendered, and it was due to the efforts of this airplane and their crews going in. Allow the enemy to make the final decision that enough was enough. Yes, how about that? Indeed we. And by the way, no government funds go into this aircraft. This is operated by volunteers from the commemorative Air Force who have kept these aircraft alive. The restoration process was a miracle in itself. It goes back decades, but it got completed through the vision of
好了，现在时间是差不多中午要接近12点了哦。刚才开幕的仪式应该是在刚才举办的，就是有些长官致辞和一些唱国歌的部分啊。那这里是他当地的这个西级的一个摊位，看到现在台面上的东西呢，都是可以免费领取的哦，就是有一些免费的赠品可以拿。好，那我们再看看还有什么。 好，我们刚才走了一圈以后呢，再回到座位上嘛。刚有个摊位拿了一个扇子，还有一个耳塞哦。然后我们再回到座位继续看比赛吧。我现在在的区块呢是属于是站位的票哦。
Reverse thrust going when he needs to stop. He hasn't been using it with Kathy. He's just having a really fun time and enjoying this, flying with everybody. Flaps are back up.
可以看到刚才这边有一台飞机过来以后，可能是有点问题的，所以他把它拉到旁边去了，并没有折返回去哈。啊，他们会在这边做一个折返的动作。
And it looks like they're pretty close. You might be letting her pull away just a little bit. And there's the midway point at the yellow and black checkered flag, making the way to the finish line at the 2,000-foot mark. He's deep into the slip, so is Kathy. Flaps in, straightening out, dumping the flaps to land where they want on the brakes super hard, and who gets it? Oh, so close I can't call that one either. Outstanding. All right, Steve is pulling away, not giving him any brakes. Once again, all of these guys extremely competitive with each other. However, they're all great friends. We all have all our dinners together, all watched movies last night together. On that right turn means that he got blown to the left from a crosswind, and he needed to make a right turn in order not to violate the center. A little bit tougher to turn because you're not using the momentum of that engine to help you. Steve is on the ground first. Whoever's on the ground first immediately starts aggressive, slowing down.
tell you is the first jet race of the first day of the miracle at Roswell. That should be 10. Last off on your right.
Jim is the owner of Mustang Aviation, a full-service FBO located in his hometown of Pierce, South Dakota. Mustang Aviation provides fuel, charter, air freight, flight instruction, maintenance, and aircraft. As he pulls back on the control yoke, arms into the beautiful New Mexico sky. Looking out the wind and looking straight down, there's a great big beautiful barnstormer's loop. Since his first flight 50 years ago, Jim has amassed more than 20,000 hours of accident-free flight in more than 166 different models of general aviation aircraft. In fact, 2025 marks Jim's 33rd year of
energy management and is proud to list the legendary Robert A. Bob Hoover as one of his most influential mentors and friends. Great big barrel roll into sky. I'm going to call that a root beer barrel.
She renamed her airplane, Josh, Race Sheila. Now, if you're from New Zealand or Australia or you've traveled there, that is a common name for a female. It's a very affectionate name. Of our last 7 runs for the day, still track 25. On the inside here, we've got the Just Aircraft Superstar pulled ahead of Austin Clemens and the Husky. Needs to get on the brakes. Let's see what they do. Steve's starting to roll down. He's got a catcher. It's a little harder to do when you're only one half the track. Can he do it? He still has to slow down on all that speed and get on the brakes. About to touch the ground over the 2,000 foot there between on the other side of the flags, and he still does it. Outstanding.
jet silkman that allows him to not only launch his aircraft, but also do amazing high-speed, low-level aerobatics. Folks, remember, Bob is a retired rocket scientist. For his first act, he'll be climbing to over 2,000. as he approaches show center at over 175 miles per hour. The Foxjet is the only sailplane in the world capable of such a high speed and low-level aerobatic performance. Ladies and gentlemen, Bob Carlton and the Foxjet twin jet engine sailplane. Bob Carlson comes all the way.
Former Wayne Walker with the late Jimmy Franklin. Race number 19, a physician from West Virginia, Redneck Fury, followed by Big Red, veteran racer Joey Sanders, call sign Gordo of Jasper, Alabama. Chris LaFave, another one in race number 43. Midnight Mist, he calls that Vic McMahon. Race number 66. Gunslinger. Vitaly Verchesky from the Ukraine. Abracadabra. And then finally, the Lincoln Generator Honda Race Special. Midnight Mist. 1860 Charlie. Longtime racer Gunslinger. Coming down the line now, first should be in the blue airplane, Lee Ullman, holding a pole position. Right now, beauty about the T6 SMJ Harvard class, right? Is the equal speed supersonic flight. I don't see that anything has changed. They're doing a nice job of polishing the pilots. And just like the other racers we have got, a more expanded course to reduce the G's and lead off speed. Lee Ullman, veteran racer, is way out in front. He's been around the pylons many times throughout the course of the years. Former wing walker by profession. Excellent mechanic. Towards the rear of the pack, second from the last I can see, Greg McNeely in the white airplane looking like he's going to make a pass on the outside. Grab him in the position. All right, we do have some changes now on the his father, he's a wily fox, knowing how to get around the pylons. As a racer for years, professional airline pilot. Lee Ullman hugging the pylons down low. A very smooth line he's flying as well. I can see Joey Sanders, Big Red. He's got a read on Lee Ullman. It's not the first time they've raced. Yes, they're friends. White flag is up. If you, yes. So in the pits, I can tell you what the conversation was not like. It was not like, okay, let's take it easy and have some fun. No, the fangs came out. They're out to win the race. Get the final speed. As soon as we get anything special, we'll let you know. Everything we have now is unofficial. tournament last week, we hit Fairmont of the old, less aerodynamic, you could say. And then the majority of the air frequency, Bob McCormick, Athena, number 1. Hold up and out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, we're down to 4 races. I saw something he had worked very wisely, so he can race his entire week. Not moving to the same components. Working out. State of New
好
Mexico,，
第一天的所有活动呢，就到这边结束了。
Okay, on behalf of yours truly, Daniel Cusham, the host that loves you
然
most.
后
And Royal Canadian Roy
看到大
Hadley.
家已经陆续上场了哦。
Adios, amigos.
其实时间表写的时间跟他其实现场这些活动的时间还是有点差异哦。今天算是有一点比这个活动表预定的时间呢，就早一点结束了哦。但是其实哦，从早到晚，在这个曝晒在阳光之下，其实也是挺辛苦的啦。这个防晒的工作一定要做好，然后水分要带足。好，那就带大家先看一下这个第一天大概的活动的样子。那我们就先往回走啦。好，这边有一个这个救护中心哦，它这边有免费的水可以拿，而且还是冰的呢。我今天带了2瓶，全部喝完了哦。刚好这个冰水就接上了，喝下去特别舒服哦。然后现在就等于是要往回走了，然后就等于要坐接驳巴士回去了哦。它里面这边呢有一些这个别的摊位哦，然后有一些飞机的展示。我估计这个区块呢是要另外加价的哦，才可以进去的。口袋那边我刚才看了，好像是要再额外再花20块钱，就可以进到这边来了。哦，其实，在入口这边呢，我们刚才早上来的时候，它是还没有开门的。这边其实就有它官方的这个商店了哦，就有官方的一些 T 恤，然后有这些杯子啊，然后有书，就是等于是手册。这里可以看到它的价钱哦。那这个书呢，里面应该就是有这些相关的介绍哦。这飞机啊，它的驾驶员，还有这活动历届的介绍哦。但是呢，根据我的判断呢，这些商品呢，在活动结束以后呢，应该就会有一个出新的价格了。既然我是住在本地的，或许过了不久，在本地的二手店也都会出现的这些商品，所以不急着买，到时候看看吧。因为现在价位都是挺贵的。但是对这航空有兴趣的呢，想做个纪念也是可以买啊。大家可以参考看看哦。好了，那我们就准备要离开了。我们可以看到了，就是一进来你看到的第一个的棚子，就是它的这个官方的这个 gift shop。就是今天我刚进场的时候呢，它是还没有开门的，所以这个刚才离开的时候才看到它其实已经开了哦。那对于喜欢航空的人，这应该是算一个不错的活动啊。就是唯一一个缺点就是，的确是蛮晒的。就是如果天气比较炎热的话啊，因为从早这个8点哦到下午3点，这时间还是挺长的。那就仅供一个参考啦。那这个活动基本上应该是在 Roswell 了，应该是今年第1年开始以后，就是每年都会在我们这里举办了哦。所以说，今年没有来到的呢，或许明年你有兴趣的也可以来看看啊。 好，那就谢谢大家观赏今天影片啦，就这样喽，拜拜。